Well, for weeks, President Trump has been ridiculed for his claim that the Obama administration may have monitored his communications, and he still hasn't provided proof of that. But today, House Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes revealed that there is evidence, some supporting the president's claim. Watch this.
What I've read seems to me to be some level of surveillance activity, perhaps legal, but I don't know that it's right, and I don't know that the American people would be comfortable with what I've read. But let us get all the reports.
Chairman, the president was correct in what he tweeted?
It is possible.
Well, President Trump reacted this way.
Do you feel vindicated by Chairman Nunes coming over here?
I somewhat do. I must tell you, I somewhat do. I very much appreciated the fact that they found what they found, but I somewhat do.
So this is a genuinely interesting development. We called more than 30 members of Congress from both parties who have mocked the president's claim he was surveilled. None of them agreed to come on. So instead, we're joined by someone brave, Jessica Tarloff. She's a Democratic strategist and senior director at Bustle.com. Jessica, good to see you.
Nice to see you, too. That's like the best intro ever.
So, I mean, look, I was frustrated by the president's tweet. I said it right to him in an interview last week. I thought it was imprecise. I still think that. But I think underlying all of this is a really big issue that we're ignoring, we being the press, because the press hates Trump. And that is that the U.S. government may have, in effect, misused the power of its intelligence agencies for political purposes. We're not sure of that. But it's a little bit weird that one administration would be surveilling a candidate and or his staff during a presidential race on the other side. Doesn't that sort of give you pause?
Well, that's not what I understood happened today, actually, or what Congressman Nunes was saying. What I understood he was saying is that there may have been legal surveillance of foreign actors that then incidentally picked up activity within Trump Tower. So I think the real issue is here, why were we surveilling people that people within Trump Tower were speaking to, and the fact that the president's claim is still, as far as we know, completely inaccurate and without foundation. That's what I took away from today.
So those are two separate things. But let's go to the first one first. Now, I think there's evidence that these investigations were initiated by the Obama administration because they believed there were untoward ties between the Trump administration and foreign actors, A. B, we know from the chairman's remarks today that those names in the documents, in the readouts of the conversations that were wiretapped, in effect, were not redacted, which contravenes policy. You're not supposed to leave the names open and have them floating around government systems.
Absolutely.
And yet they did leave the names unmasked, as they say, which seems a major violation.
It does, and I've had this conversation before, and I do think it's important to address that issue, that those names are protected when they are supposed to be. But at the same time, I don't know why, well, actually, I do know why Republicans want to focus on that and not the fact that Donald Trump made this claim without anything to back it up. And we even have a breaking news report this evening that it looks like the FBI does have evidence that there was collusion between Trump campaign members and Russian operatives in order to damage Hillary Clinton. And we'll see where that continues to go. But it's very odd.
I don't know that we have that. I think what we have is one of the Democrats on the committee suggesting that there's evidence. And look, I'm open-minded about that. But here's the point. The idea that one administration might be using the massive intelligence gathering of the United States government for political purposes is a terrifying prospect. And we've seen it before. We saw it with Governor Eliot Spitzer of New York. And I'm sorry to defend Eliot Spitzer because I know everyone doesn't like him and he's a liberal and I'm not. But he was put under surveillance by the feds for the crime of adding money to his own bank account. And because he got caught up in the hooker scandal, nobody seemed to care, but it was a big deal. We saw General David Petraeus, whose life was destroyed because they broke into his Gmail account. Because why? So this power has been misused again and again, but it's been misused against people who are not popular in the press, so nobody says anything about it. But we should care. Why don't we care?
Absolutely should care, and I just would like this to be separate conversations. I mean, I'm happy for us to talk about all of them, but one doesn't, equate to the other necessarily, and we can treat them as separate entities.
For the misuse of this information. That's the only point I'm making. We've seen this before. It does happen, and you're not some sort of kooky flat earther for believing the government can hurt its own citizens with these spying powers, because it has.
No, I understand that, and again, I'm happy to have that conversation, but it doesn't make it all right that Donald Trump made this accusation that the former president of the United States of America was wiretapping him when we've seen no evidence of it. That's the issue here. And also,
hold on. Didn't we see some today? We just saw.
Why? Because
we saw the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee say yes.
What did he show you? He said that maybe he has something that he thinks was legal. And also, why did he not go to his committee members first? Why did he go to the White House first and then to the press?
That's an entirely fair question. But it ignores the root of it all, which is it did happen, apparently. Whether or not it's legal is foregone. Everything is legal. The government can do whatever it wants. Its spying powers are unlimited, and by the way, it can be unilaterally ordered by the President of the United States. That's legal, too. I'm not saying it happened here. I'm just saying it's all legal. The question is, should you be doing it? And he basically confirmed that intel agencies controlled by the Obama administration were spying, maybe unintentionally, maybe not, on Trump staffers, like recently. That's what Trump said, in effect.
Well, no, not
still.
in effect. We've gone through so many iterations of what Donald Trump said. He's put things now in quotation marks. We've heard about microwave spying. We have to go back to the original tweet, which is not at all what happened. And we've heard from Director Comey. We've heard from the head of the NSA. We've heard from Nunes himself, Adam Schiff, Richard Burr. Everyone has said that the original claim that he made is unfounded. Now, if
Wait, but doesn't what Nunes said today, I mean, how does that not back it up? He said, look, there were people, maybe it wasn't Trump himself.
But
he
that's
suggested
what Donald Trump said.
No, but look, again, I have criticized the president to his face for being imprecise. But there is something important here for the third time, which is the spying powers of the U.S. government seem like they may have been misused by the Obama people. Liberals should be really worried about that, because if it can be done to Trump and people you don't like, it can be done to people you do like, and
Absolutely. Well, we know about spying. We know what happened during the campaign, and we know what WikiLeaks has done, and it exposed tons of DNC emails, and we know all about, you know, John Podesta's cooking and all of that stuff.
No, but the U.S. government doing it to its own citizens for political reasons, there's nothing scary. That's third world, no?
It is absolutely frightening. It's things that go on in places like Russia, things that go on in places like China, and that's disturbing. I'm just saying that there are many conversations going on here, and I feel like Republicans only want to have that conversation when there's an important other one to be had about the claims that the President of the United States of America has made about the former President of the United States of America, seemingly unfounded. And he's out there tonight retweeting Gateway Pundit and Bill Mitchell, who says, oh, Donald Trump is always right.
But you don't need to retweet websites. You could just repeat what the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee said. Maybe he's lying.
Maybe.
But if he's
Why didn't
lying,
he show his own committee the information then? I mean, it's a little freaky.
Will, but if this is true, this is a bigger scandal than anything that's being alleged about Russia, is it not?
I think that those are two enormous scandals if they both play out. If we find out that the Trump administration or the future Trump administration colluded with Russia to influence the election, that is massive. If we find out that the Obama administration was wiretapping Donald Trump through his phone or his microwave, that is also massive.
We're a lot closer to one than the other, but I'll invite you back when we find out for sure.
Thank you.
Jesse Tarloff, thanks for coming on.